Right?
I split one like this. Yeah.
That's like an extra.
Sorry.
How you doing? My name is Barney, and the topic that I chose to do is advertising responsible for childhood obesity? And I chose this topic because I believe obesity is a major problem in America today. I mean, most people know about obesity, but they don't realize how serious the issue is. And as far as statistics-wise, the number of cases of obesity has drastically increased in the past 20 years. In 2010, there were 43 million cases found in just preschoolers, and that was a 60% increase since 1990. And this was just in children under the age of 5. I mean, I think that's a huge change. And through my research, what I tried to do was find out what all the main causes of obesity were, and if advertising really had as big of an impact on causing it as a lot of people think it does. And before I get started, I'm going to refer to my poster on how it relates to the Griggs textbook. And what it says is, well, one way it relates is it uses the correlation coefficient theory, which is the relationship of two variables and how they affect each other, or in my research case, how much a child watching advertisements is really going to affect them eating more food or possibly becoming obese. And another way it relates to the text is through most of the articles, the perspective which is shown, that researchers use, is the socioculture and behavioral perspectives, which would be how one's environment or the people around somebody or around the child is going to affect or influence their mindset and cause them to eat the foods they do or do what they do throughout life. But back to PowerPoint. I have 3 articles that support advertising being the main cause. And the first argument is going to be that, on average, children are exposed to advertisements at least 4 times a day. And this could vary depending on how much TV a kid watches and how often they're on the internet. But on average, about 4 advertisements per day. And they say the older the child gets, the more that they're exposed to. So on average, kids from the ages 12 to 17, they're exposed to at least 6 or 7. And like I said before, possibly more, depending on what they do throughout each day. And by children watching these advertisements, it's going to cause them to ask for that food more often. It said that 40% of children ask for junk food or fast food at least once per week, and 15% of kids ask for it every single day. The next article I found talks about how most people think that advertising is just found on TV or possibly a billboard, but a lot of big companies are going even further than that. They're creating not just one website, but several. Such as McDonald's, they have 13 different websites just promoting their food, and a lot of them are reaching out to children, such as Ronald.com. They have a bunch of little games or activities that seem interesting for a child audience, so they'll get on them more often, and the more they see them or see the foods promoted on the websites, it's going to cause them to want the food more often, or like I said previously, ask their parents for it more often. And it said that 659,000 kids visit these websites every single day. And many people believe that by going to a fast food place and getting a kid's meal or a value meal or something on the value menu, they think it's the proper amount that a child should have, and they think it meets the nutrition criteria for their child, so they're just going to get them that. But out of 3,039 possible combinations of kids' meals or value meals, only 12 meet the requirement or the nutrition criteria for younger kids, and only 15 meet the criteria for older kids from ages 12 to 17. And as for the rest of the items on the menu, about 30% of the calories of each of those foods is just saturated fat and sugar. And as for sugar, it can be good to you for a certain extent, but saturated fat, the body can't really do much with. So the more you consume, it's going to cause you to gain weight. And all this being said, the more advertisements the child is shown, the more food they're going to be consuming as far as fast foods, which is going to lead to childhood obesity. And that's what the supporting arguments say. As for the arguments against it, one of the main arguments that keeps getting brought up through all the research I've done is that by advertising, it's not going to cause somebody to eat more of a certain food. Well, what it's going to do is cause them to maybe switch brands of the food that they already get. So say somebody buys fried chicken all the time, and they usually get KFC. But lately they've been seeing a lot of Popeyes commercials like every day. It's more likely to cause them to get Popeyes over KFC instead of them buying more chicken daily. And the next argument, or article I found, it says that parenting is the main cause of childhood obesity. And it states that it doesn't really matter what you eat, because if you eat enough of just about anything, it's going to cause you to gain weight and possibly become obese. And their argument is that it's the parents' responsibility over their children to control or maintain what they consume each day or what food they give them each day. So if a child goes up to their mom or dad and says, "Hey mom, I want a cheeseburger, I want some fried chicken," then the parent needs to say, "No, you're going to get celery. And if you're good, you might possibly get some peanut butter." Now, in all actuality, what a parent needs to be able to do is, you don't have to restrict your kid from having fast food, but maybe possibly say, "Hey, you can have McDonald's once this week, not every single day or every other day." And in that way, it's parents can be the ones to cause or prevent the child from gaining weight. And as for my last article I found, or argument I found, it's kind of surprising to me, and that is school lunch. Because I think back in middle school days, like, you feel like you didn't really get much food at all. And like every day at lunch, or when you did get something, it's like, tend to be pretty nasty, so you don't want to eat very much. And this argument states that by many schools serving unhealthy foods, or foods that are high in salt, sugar content, or even drinks, what this is going to do is cause a behavioral trend in the children to eat those foods. And through the research, it says that a child's eating habits are done set by the time they get to middle school. Therefore, by them getting all these bad foods at a young age, by the time they get older, they're going to be so used to eating those foods, what's going to stop them from consuming those? And this could easily be prevented, but very few schools offer like a healthy alternative or a healthy choice instead of what they're serving, because they don't really want to spend the money to bring those foods into their program. I don't really understand why. And with all this being said, my viewpoint on this is that I don't really believe that advertising plays a very big role in childhood obesity. I mostly agree with the parenting side of it, because I believe a parent should be able to control and maintain what their child intakes. Like, I don't think it'd be very hard to create a healthy, balanced diet for your kid. And as for the whole school lunch thing, I think it would cost just about the same to buy food and have your kid pack a lunch. It'd be just as expensive as buying school lunch. Because old Lunchables, they don't really cost that much. And they're a lot better food than what schools serve. And that's it. Thank you.